We just got our remote stream set up. Hopefully, we're going to be doing this a little bit more often, right, Ryan?
Yes, sir. Anytime anything big happens, unless one of us are at the strip club, we should be able to get on here.
Right. That's understandable. Want to talk a little bit about some of these coaching hires. First, I just want to say that the coaches are really starting to come off the board now. Jeff Hafley going to the Dolphins, right? Now former Green Bay Dolphins defensive coordinator. And I just read an interesting stat about him. He was 22-26 at Boston College. And I'm like, wait a minute. You were under 500 at Boston College. Understandable. It is Boston College, ACC.
Yeah, it's not the 80s anymore.
Right. But you somehow landed the job as the defensive coordinator in Green Bay. And now you're already elevated to the Miami's head coach. I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy, besides that.
Time will tell. I think Miami's in a spot where, say what you will about the Browns' dysfunction. I think they're kind of in that same spot. Whether any of that's attributed to what McDaniels was doing there or not, I don't think they really had the pick of the litter. They got a expensive quarterback that nobody wants, kind of like we do.
Correct.
And
they had a pick last year in Quinn Ewers, which wouldn't be surprised if they went ahead and tried to draft another quarterback.
Right. Exactly. So
whether
they have a lot that they need there. That defense isn't great, and it's older. They have pieces, obviously. They still have Waddle. Was Tyreek where is he now?
Well, he got hurt this year.
Yeah,
so he got hurt earlier in the season. They still have Devin Ashen, so he's one of the top backs in the league, and kind of a bell cow back for them. So
they have a lot of pieces there, and Ewers played kind of well. Beat Tampa.
He started. They basically sat Tua down, and they decided to go ahead and start Ewers. Understandable. What's the point of trying to give Tua another concussion, and just waste him? That's like, not to keep harping on the Bengals organization, but that's really kind of what I thought the Bengals would do with Joe Burrow. Even with him coming out,
he's just missed so much time though.
He's
got to get reps.
Yeah, well, that's true. But once you're out of it, you're out of it, though. What's the point of continuing to put your franchise quarterback that you've already paid millions of dollars when actually you're probably trying to tank?
Right.
What's the point of sending that guy out there? And we know the history of Joe Burrow and kind of the injury-riddled career he's had so far. So I don't really understand that.
I think he's one that needs of course that happened. He has to get out there though. How many times has he been actually played a full season? It's just that's never happened.
Well, I do know this. So Joe Burrow just finished up his 6th year, and the Bengals have only made the playoffs twice.
And they've missed at least a half a season, like 3 times.
Yeah, and they've won 5 playoff games, but 4 of those were in one season. So
3 of those.
What now?
3 of those. Wild card round, divisional round, AFC title game. Can't win 4 without winning the Super Bowl.
That's right. Sorry, my bad. So 3 and 2. That's right. You're right. But say you will. I just don't understand that altogether, except for maybe Miami wanted to sit Tua down so they could see what Quinn Ewers had to kind of give them an idea as to what they wanted to do, moving forward in this draft. Because where's Miami drafting? I'd have to have the draft order
I think
up.
they're a. I'll look it up. Aren't they at like 11 or something? Maybe
Yeah, I mean, they're
13.
below us. They had that stretch where they won some games in there, and
Yeah,
it looked like, well, maybe they turned the corner. They were against some bad teams. I think it was maybe
they're at
right after.
11.
I think it was right after, quite honestly, when they took the ass beating from us, and then they rattled off like 4 straight or something like that.
Yeah, they went like 5-2 after we beat them, or
Right,
something like that.
something like that. What else we got going on in the league? So I guess this is what, kind of important information now, that we kind of found out late last night that Mike McDaniels was supposed to get a second interview with the Browns, but he's turned it down. And I guess he came out earlier in the week saying that he would rather take a good offensive coordinator job rather than a lackluster head coaching job. I don't know if he's kind of throwing that on the Browns. I mean, I'm sure we're not the only place who's giving him an interview. But it looks to me like he is going to be paired with Jim Harbaugh in LA with the Chargers starting next season.
Well, yeah, and I
What do you
thought
think?
Todd Monken was his love child that he wanted to.
No, this is Jim Harbaugh.
Or Jim. Okay, yeah, Jim.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jim in LA. It's Indy, or
LA.
well, with the
Sorry, I
Chargers,
got a
right?
million
No,
things going
that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of openings in this cycle, but I think the best ones have probably been taken so far.
Right. I wouldn't say Miami's the best one, but I mean, them hiring Halfley, and now it's Tennessee is pretty much a done deal. Robert Saleh, the Niners defensive coordinator, once the Jets head coach.
A lot of people love Ward, though, so you have your quarterback.
Right. They do. And I don't think the guy got a fair shake, especially for being the number 1 pick. Because, I mean, Kavanaugh's son got fired there, like 5 games into the season?
Yeah.
So, speaking of Kavanaugh, looks like he's going to follow the offensive line coach, who's once offensive line coach for the Browns, then followed his son to help him out in Tennessee. Then he went ahead, and now he's following Stefanski to Atlanta, along with offensive coordinator Tommy Rees, who did get an initial interview with the Cleveland Browns this year. So he was one of the first ones, along with Jim Schwartz, to get one of the initial interviews. So I guess the question is, okay, so who do we have out there that's still? I mean, there's still more vacancies than there is ones that have been filled. But I mean, it's starting to close on the 500 number. So what? Arizona's out there, of course. Cleveland's out there, Pittsburgh's out there, Baltimore's out there, and then not surprising to me, the Bills went ahead and fired Sean McDermott after the loss this past weekend in the divisional round. 9 years tenured with Buffalo. 7 of those with Josh Allen now.
Right.
So I feel as if Buffalo is now behind the sticks, because there's all these other franchises that are going out. They're a lot of them are on their second interview processes, and Buffalo is basically starting from scratch. Also, Baltimore really kind of being hush-hush about what they do. There's one name that's being floated around out there from Baltimore, and that's defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, who also was defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. So, and I know Minter, I think he also got an interview as the Raiders head coach, another one that also has not been filled yet. So basically,
right.
we're down to the Browns, Steelers, Bills, Ravens, Cardinals, and Raiders, right? That's what's left.
Yes.
So, but they're starting to come off the board now. So I think the Browns, and then so the Browns had this definite second interview with what was Todd Monken and Jim Schwartz, correct? And they had one that was going to get set up with McDaniels, but he went ahead and took his name off the list. So who does that leave us with? So now I heard that they went ahead and requested a second interview with Grant Udinski, the offensive coordinator of the Jaguars, and who else?
Shieldhouse.
Shieldhouse route. Shieldhouse, like I called him last week. Shieldhouse. So he has a second interview that's set up, correct?
I don't know if it's set up yet, but that it's reported that it's going to happen. And
okay.
The thing is the one thing with McDaniel taking that job, not doing the interview, they're going to have to find another minority candidate.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of news about that today too, and I don't really understand this. I think the Dogs Pod actually put this out too. It's like, well, you know, you're going to go ahead and give McDaniels the live interview, which that's also part of the Rooney Rule, is that interview has to be live. It has to be in person to get credit, you know, for the Rooney Rule. It can't be over Zoom, you know, like the initial interviews were. So what kind of kills me about this is like they can't really go and hire Shieldhouse. Now think about this. They can't hire that guy without having another minority interview. That makes zero sense to me.
Affirmative action in action, my friend.
Yeah, it just doesn't it doesn't make any sense.
Stupid.
Why that would even be. It's like, wait a minute. We're about to just go ahead and hire a minority as our head coach, but you're saying we still have to at least have two outside of this guy?
Right.
I'll do it. I'll be the coach.
I love that you can see the chat on that side.
You going to go ahead and dress up like what's his name for Tropic Thunder? Just get in there. What
do you mean? Oh, I can't remember his name on the movie, but
I can see his face though, because it was
Robert.
Who's the actor? Who?
Robert Downey Jr.
That's it. Yeah.
Blackface all the way. And not just brown, like super black.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see what other news has been going on as far as the coaching carousel.
I mean, pretty much the whole Browns staff is heading to Atlanta. They got Tommy Reese. They got
Callahan.
Callahan. That's old Browns staff.
But with a quick detour in Tennessee.
I think Bubba Vitrone's going to head up down that way anyway.
Good. See ya. Bye.
Like, good. That's the one thing. Savansky could not make good calls on building that staff, it seemed to me.
I'm just making a prediction. I'm making a prediction at this point. I think that it's probably going to be Schwartz. I mean, just deep down, I'm feeling that it's going to be Schwartz.
It's Schwartz or Shieldhouse.
Yeah, but what's interesting to me is, you know, who are they going to put in as the OC? Are they going to go, you know, would Grant Udinski take the OC job when he moved from Jacksonville to Cleveland?
To get some play calling under his belt?
Yeah.
And kind of grow in that role.
Right.
For a couple
and then,
of years.
You know, because the guy's he's only 30 years old. I mean, he's pretty young.
He's not calling plays down there. That's the one thing I'm intrigued by him, but it's like, you want to take a guy that isn't doing play calling down there. And you know, if you hire him as the head coach here, that's probably going to be something they're going to want him to do.
I would think.
So it's like, why elevate him to head coach and then him have to find another offensive coordinator that probably has 15 years more experience or whatever than him?
Right. Well, you certainly weren't going to hire Udinski as the head coach and then expect McDaniels or Monken to be the OC.
Right.
You know, so I just feel like at this time, I feel like Schwartz is the leader in the clubhouse. And I know that the Giants were still, at least John Harbaugh, with the Giants still wanted Monken to go ahead and come and there and be his OC, even though Monken had the second interview with the Browns. So I don't know what's going to come of that. You know, if they're going to come out here soon and say, yeah, Monken's going to go ahead. We sealed him because he was the leader in the clubhouse there with the Giants.
Right. We'll see. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at this point if Monken gets a job.
If Monken gets the head coaching job, okay.
It wouldn't surprise me because if they want an offensive mind and also a leader of men, the guy's been around.
Right.
They went young the last time. They seem to always the pendulum always swings with them.
Right.
But
And my initial thoughts when this whole process started, and I told you, we talked about it on the pod, my initial thoughts were, I like Jim Schwartz. I don't know if he got a fair shake when he was head coach of Detroit, because that team was bad. I mean, right after that is when Jim Caldwell had the 0-16 season.
Was it right after or right before?
It was after. It was after Schwartz's tenure.
Caldwell didn't have the 16, I don't think.
I'm sorry?
I don't think Caldwell was 0-16 there.
Yeah, it was Caldwell.
Because Schwartz had Stafford and Calvin Johnson. That was after they went 0-16.
Yeah, but I think it was only for a year or so. I thought Schwartz.
I mean, I know they made the playoffs when Schwartz was there.
And then they went.
And that was when Detroit was Cleveland.
Then they hired Caldwell, and then Caldwell had the 0-16 season. I do know that.
I didn't
Google that, but I'm almost positive that's how it went.
Stafford wasn't there for that.
So what you're saying is that Rams trade was no, it wouldn't have been because the Detroit didn't.
Rod Mellon, yeah, it was Rod Marinelli.
Marinelli was the head coach.
Then it was Schwartz. Then it was Caldwell.
But Caldwell, I thought, had the 0-16 season. He didn't.
Marinelli.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Well, that was off then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, going back to what were we talking about before we got on that? So.
Oh, Schwartz being the head coach. I think if you're going to make a move for an older guy, that's for a leader of men. If you're not going for an offensive mind, that's the guy to have. And you're telling me he doesn't have some connections around the league to get a competent OC in there?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
I think he does. His time with Philadelphia, there's not somebody in that coaching staff that's ready for that.
Good point.
Time in Tennessee, time with Vrabel, time with all those guys. I wouldn't be as worried about him putting together an offensive staff to go. If there's anybody that knows what they need on offense, it's him.
Right.
Because I don't ascribe to this thing where it's like just because it's a defensive coordinator, he has no idea what the fuck's going on offense.
No, I'm not saying that either. I mean, my biggest thing was, we kind of have the defense nailed down. So I just didn't want to throw a wrench in anything. I wanted Schwartz to stay on that side of the ball. Not that I think that he couldn't be a competent overall head coach. I just don't want to upset the apple cart on that side of the football.
Well, I think what would happen is he would go up to head coach and probably bump up Tarver or something to defensive coordinator. Schwartz could still call plays on defense. I think as a head coach, that's probably easier to be a defensive play caller than offensive in my mind.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because on offense, that's when you want your clock management and stuff like that. He can keep his mind on that instead of play calling and all that bullshit.
I did see this the other day too. Speaking of offensive coordinators, it looks like Eric Bieniemy, and I know we talked about him, might be going back to be the OC in Kansas City. So I did see that the other day too. So that guy just keeps floating around all over. I mean, you remember a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago now, where everybody was up in arms. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people were up in arms about why isn't Bieniemy getting a head coach? Why isn't he getting a head coaching position? But nobody ever talked about maybe the guy doesn't want to be a head coach.
Right.
Nobody ever brought that up. And then he went to be I think he the OC at Washington for Kingsbury for a year, I think, before Quinn brought Cliff Kingsbury in.
Yeah.
And Cliff Kingsbury, that guy's going to probably get one of these head coaching positions. I don't know where it's going to be yet. I actually haven't heard about where he's being interviewed or anything like that. I don't know why I didn't, but I haven't. Also, another name that's kind of been floating out there as far as the Steelers go is Steelers native Mike McCarthy. So that name is finally being brought up, as well as so Shieldhouse was also being brought up with the Steelers. Chris Shula, also a name that's also being brought up in a few different organizations. And what do you think about Mike McCarthy? I mean, what do you think about? I don't see the Steelers hiring him, although he is a Pittsburgh native, just because it goes against what the Rooneys have done with, the 3 coaches they have hired in the last 60 years, defensive-minded guys who are fairly young. I mean, we're talking under 40. And then they just camp out there for most of their career. I mean,
especially in the position that they're in, it's not like it's a turnkey. You got a
no,
quarterback there. You got young players.
Not.
I mean,
in
what's the young?
In my opinion, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's the young talent they have there? They have some moderately young talent on defense, and I guess their offensive line's gotten better in the last couple of years. But DK Metcalf is kind of getting older. Who do you have?
You get TJ Watt. I mean, you're not building a franchise around a defensive end. I mean,
right.
That's not what you're doing. I mean, quite honestly, probably what they need to do is they need to just hit the reset button there, and they probably need to try to deal TJ Watt away and try to get some more picks and just rebuild that, start over, rebuild that franchise. And then they could really be in a purgatory state. And I threw this out there earlier last week that, they're going to start feeling what the Browns, basically what they've made fun of the Browns organization for the longest time, because we've been in this quarterback purgatory for quite some time, and they could be well into it now themselves.
Unless Will Howard turns out to be one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he got hurt in OTAs, and then he was ready to roll. Maybe I heard with maybe a third of the season left, but they still trotted Mason Rudolph out there ahead of Will Howard. So that can't be, that can't be a good look for Will Howard. Of course, they were still in the hunt for playoffs and possibly winning the division.
Yeah, I mean, Rudolph's your veteran backup.
Right. I mean, I guess possibly if the Steelers were in a position like Miami, maybe they would have. But I don't see them doing that either because, Aaron Rodgers may have played his last game. So Rodgers, I don't think would have went for it. If he's ready to go, even if they had nothing left to play for, I think Rodgers would have demanded having the start.
Right.
So who knows? I mean, maybe they won't. And I think they're drafting at like maybe 22, 23, something like that. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing when you always go 9-8, 10-7. When the quarterback is finally what you need, are they going to be somebody that trades for Mac Jones or something like that? I could see it happening.
Right. Yeah. Mac Jones. Yeah, and then the other name is Malik Willis, right? Who got that start behind Jordan Love. Looked pretty good. So
wouldn't be surprised if that's somebody that Andrew Berry wants to go after.
It's possible. Yeah.
Just to put in that room with Deshaun and Sanders.
Right.
So
yeah,
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that being a possibility. But he's also in the range where he's probably going to want 20-25 a year. If you're going to bring him in, he's probably going to then have to be the starter almost.
Yeah, but I think he's young enough that he's still on that rookie deal, right? Has he been in the league that long? That he's even on his 5th-year option? I don't know.
He wasn't a.
I'd have to look it up. Tennessee drafted him out of Liberty.
Wasn't a first-round draft pick.
He wasn't?
He was like.
See, I couldn't remember if he was or not.
Superstar for free. Willis to get 10 here. Yeah, so he's going to be a free agent.
Okay. So what round was he picked? I can't remember. Huh?
I think it was the 3rd round.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah, 86 overall. So that's 3rd round somewhere.
Right. That makes more sense.
Yep, 3rd.
I don't know why he was drafted in the 1st.
You're probably thinking of my camera keeps fucking up. It's pissing me off. You're probably
Mr. Manny.
Well, Trey Lance.
Well, Trey Lance was drafted by the Niners. Remember, the Niners moved up to get that guy because he was in the same draft as Zach Wilson.
Yeah, give me
He's one of those guys. Trey Lance was one of those dudes that started like 9 games in college, and they just, went ahead and elevated him. I think just something to talk about.
Camera should be coming back. You hear me?
All right. Right now, I just see Robert Kennedy's emblem up there. That's a joke.
Okay.
There you are. All right. Still's kind of doing it a little bit.
That's because my computer likes to freak out sometimes when I have.
Fantastic.
When I change.
All right. So, what's your bet? What are we doing? What are the Browns doing at this point? What's your number one in the out of what they?
From everything I've been hearing, it seems like it's going to be Udinski or Shieldhouse, but there's also there's also a lot of buzz about Schwartz. I don't think they really know yet. I really don't think they know yet.
And is there a possibility? Is there a possibility that Schwartz just gives him the Antonio Brown out of the building if he doesn't get the head coaching position?
No, there was a literal quote I seen earlier where he said he just wants to be here he wants to make us a contender again, whether he's here as defense coordinator or the head coach.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if that's lip service. I mean, the only other head coaching, in even interview he's had was with Baltimore. And I think they did that for just kind of fuck with us, I bet.
Yeah, could be.
But he would be kind of a fit there. He's kind of a Baltimore guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I agree. Because with all of the talent, especially that's on the defensive side of the ball, that defense should have been much, much better this year than what it was.
Right.
And then, of course, we have Buffalo, which they're really behind the 8 ball now. And I haven't heard anything.
I really just don't. I don't get the firing of him because Josh Allen threw a bunch of picks. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, I was saying it, I thought that they had to make at least the AFC Championship game or he was going to be gone. And I guess surprised.
I feel like if they lost that first game, you would have had something to say, but you lost on the road to a number 1 seed. Very close.
Right. And, you and I watched that game together, and quite honestly, like two less turnovers in that game, and Buffalo's running away with that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was either a score or a turnover.
Okay.
I don't think did they ever punt? Maybe once.
Yeah, I can't remember if they did or not. You just want to get into that right now? I mean, that Buffalo and Denver game. I mean, what everybody's talking about is, the last play, or the throw in overtime that ended up being another pick by Allen, where Woods went to the ground. And from what I'm hearing, there's been whispers out there, even on Twitter, that there's leaks that the league was worried about the game carrying over into the start time of the Niners and Seattle game. Did you hear this?
No.
Like that was and if I hope that isn't true, because there's one thing we want you to get it right. The whole reason for this is to get it right, and of course the call.
That's the way it was called on the field. How do you overturn it
in real time? I don't even know how you made that call. I mean, it was hard to see what happened when it was in slow motion.
Well, when I seen it in real time, it looked like a pick.
Right. Oh, okay.
To me, it looked like a pick.
It just killed me.
Just couldn't.
Woods' knees down, and basically in slow motion, they're saying, well, his left hand was coming up off the ball, which that left it open to him not having possession, even though his knee had hit the ground. So, and then of course, Devontae Adams also had one similar against Chicago, but yet it went Devontae Adams' way.
But it was the call on the field that kind of determined that.
That's the problem I shouldn't say that's the problem, but whenever the call is on the field, it takes substantial evidence to overrule that. It takes a lot more evidence to overrule what the call on the field was. So
Right.
I guess you have to make the call on the field, but what's more important to me is number one, getting the call right, and number two, being consistent. If you're the NFL in your rules.
Right.
Your camera went out again, or did you reboot it?
I'm trying to. There should be nothing wrong with this camera, but it's just freaking out, and it won't let me use the one on the laptop.
So, any other thoughts on that? The biggest surprise to me was the immediate post game where they announced that Bo Nix went ahead and suffered a fracture.
It was it was on that stupid quarterback sweep play. Why are you having Bo Nix run the ball like that?
Right.
But I would just say on that play, I get both sides of the argument, but at the same time, that never should have came down to that.
No, that's true. I mean, you can't have as many turnovers you did. And I even said that, Buffalo, you take away a couple turnovers, including that one, the overtime wouldn't even existed. You take away a couple more of those turnovers, that ultimately led to McDermott's firing. And that game's not going to overtime. Buffalo's probably winning by 10, maybe 14.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah. Going back to Bo Nix, though. So now we have Jarrett Stidham. The last time he started a game was for the Raiders in 2023, and he's about to start in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I think New England.
He had one kneel down all year.
Yeah. I think New England, it opened at -3.5, automatically got bet up to -5.5. And I still don't think that's enough. And I know you're playing at Denver. I'm not saying that's out of the realm, but for Denver to win that game, I think their defense has to play elite, and they also at least have to have a score. I think you have to, if you're Denver and you want to win that game, you have to have a score. And then, of course, Stidham can't turn the ball over, and Denver's run game, R.J. Harvey's going to have to take pressure off of Stidham and be able to get it going against Mike Vrabel and that defense, who now Denver's offensive line's not nearly as bad as what the Chargers were. Okay, but they're going to have to establish some sort of run game, whether that be getting on the outside and extension of the run game and the screen pass, something they're going to have to do, because Jarrett Stidham is not going to be able to throw the ball 40 times and them expect to win the game, because it's Jarrett Stidham.
No, so, it's going to have that defense is actually going to show up.
They're going to have to slow the game down. They're going to have to keep possessions away from Drake May, and I quite honestly, I feel like if there's any offense this year that's been a little bit underrated, it's probably New England's. They have some pieces there. Stephon Diggs is there. Hunter Henry, as far as a tight end, that guy, just want to talk about a resurgence. That guy has become one of Drake May's go-to guys. That guy he's continuously scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, and Belichick was the one to give him all that money.
Right. So, and of course, they got Mr. Dropsy there at the other tight end spot, Hooper. So we know all about him. Yeah. And then Kayshon Boutte, remember that guy? We had a story about him a couple years ago. But he's also on that offense, along with the two-headed monster, Ramondre Stevenson and Trey Henderson. Or not Trey Henderson, sorry. Trey Henderson, sorry. So
yeah, I would lean New England. Denver's going to have to play out of their minds. Sean Payton's going to have to call a good game for Stidham, because I've never seen anything from him that gave me any faith.
And you're going to have to simplify that offensive playbook for sure.
Right.
And I just think if you're not able to get the run game going, that's going to probably cut your offensive plays in half. And then I just think New England's going to bear down, and it's going to be game, set, match. That's granted. Now, nobody's really talking about this, though, either. Drake May has had some turnovers. So Drake May needs to keep his turnovers in check as well.
They all have.
You can't You can't
I've
go on
never-
the road in this game and then play this type of defense and turn the ball over.
I've never seen a playoffs where there's been as many turnovers as
There's been a lot. There's been a
like
lot.
for each team. Man, this camera is pissing me off.
And just an absolute exciting playoff this was. That's been so far. Definitely looking forward to the championship games this coming Sunday. Of course, the second game the other night was Seattle, San Francisco. I did not see that coming, especially being divisional opponents. I know they played in Seattle. They played the last game of the season. I think that game ended up being 16-3. It looked bad right off the get-go when the kickoff got ran back. And then Seattle, I think it may be the next possession, they turned the ball over, and then they held Seattle to a field goal. Then they went and got a field goal, but man, it just opened up from there. And Kenneth Walker scoring 3 touchdowns. After Zach Charbonnet went ahead. Actually, Zach Charbonnet went out. He will not be in the playoffs anymore. He had a torn ACL. So Zach Charbonnet is out for Seattle. So it's going to be the Kenneth Walker show the rest of the way. I don't know if that limits them. Somehow I'm just waiting for like Sam Darnold I know I'm probably like a lot of people. I'm waiting for the real Sam Darnold to stand up. And there's a great stat out there, which San Francisco wasn't able to do it. But because their defense has been pretty lackluster this year, but they weren't able to get Sam Darnold off his spot. So you get Sam Darnold off his spot, his completion percentage drops to 50-50. So you got to get that guy off the spot. And they weren't able to do that. And Seattle, once they got the lead, I want to see Sam Darnold have to play from behind. So once Seattle got the lead, they were able to bear down with the run. I mean, Sam Darnold didn't even have I think he had about 140. I think he had 146 yards passing. So they just bared down with Kenneth Walker and they just started running it at them. And then that was it. That was all.
That game, I tried. As end of the third quarter, it was done. It was 41-6 in the third.
Yeah.
I mean, it was over.
Yeah.
It was kind of what I thought. You put 14.5 for San Fran. I gave him 12.5. I figured it being the NFC divisional round, they would have come in with a better game plan.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of spots in the first and second quarter. I think if they would have made some plays, that game could have turned out differently. But once it just started to unravel, it was over.
Right. And then I think, wasn't there a turnover? Like San Francisco was on a drive because they were going to get the second half kickoff. So it basically could have been a 1-1 situation for San Francisco. But then they went ahead and turned the ball over right before the half. And Seattle was able to capitalize, I think, with a last-second field goal to end the half.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what happened there? And then they come out in the second half. I think San Francisco might have went 3 and out on their first possession. I can't remember.
Yeah, they were done at that point.
So, I know everybody is all about Kyle Shanahan. Okay, whether you want to give him his flowers or not, that's fine. Just like you said, though, you have a divisional opponent, a team you're about to play the third time for the season. This is a rubber match. You want one-on-one against them. How are you losing that game 41-6? I mean,
they've lost how many? They're down to their third string everything at that point.
Yeah.
They were losing guys in that game. It's on the road. They were pumped. I mean, Seattle's good. They hit their stride at the right time of the year.
I mean, they're good. I mean, I'm not saying they're not good, and that defense is good. But, I mean, they're playing like they're with their hair on fire. They were trying to create turnovers, which they did a fantastic job of it. I just felt like they were way more motivated in that game than San Francisco.
I just think defensively they were just way too overpowered for what San Francisco had left on offense.
Yeah.
They didn't really have anything outside that was scaring you. McCaffrey's not the same McCaffrey.
Well,
he was
McCaffrey,
still getting a
they
lot
ended
of touches, but
they
they
ended
couldn't
up
run the
pulling
football.
McCaffrey in the team anyway when it was kind of a lost cause anyhow. So
Yeah.
they ended up pulling him, which, rightfully so. What's the point? Because that guy's been injured a few times in his career as well. So
And Trent Williams was out, right?
Was he out for this game? That somebody else asked me that too. I wasn't positive. I wasn't sure. I forgot to look at the.
I'm pretty sure he was out. If he wasn't out at the beginning, he ended up going out. I mean,
and you had things.
It was a hell of a job for San Francisco as far as they did. So I'm not putting anything. That's just like, I think he had a little bit more of an excuse than McDermott, but McDermott also had the play of Josh Allen on his side,
right?
Which that's why I don't get that firing. Good luck with Buffalo. I don't think that's going to work out great for him.
No, I don't think so either. And they're opening up the new stadium next year too, so you're going to have a new head coach.
And does Josh Allen at some point want out of there?
I don't know how you can. I mean, that guy's got a ton of money too. They paid him on his third year, just like they did Burrow, just like they did Tua.
But that contract's probably coming to an end.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the contract was at the time. I don't know if it was like a 3 or a 5 or what they did. I don't know, but I mean,
I think it was 5 or 6 years.
But also, maybe we should talk about this game a little bit. Houston going into New England, right? And CJ Stroud just
shitting down his leg.
Yeah, I don't
not
know
really an athlete.
I don't know what's going on with CJ Stroud. Had a fantastic rookie year, and then it's been pretty not good the last couple years in this playoff run, especially for Houston. And to have that type of defense, and you go on the road, and quite honestly,
them in that game,
that Pittsburgh game, I mean, there was 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter before they started. They had
pulling away. Right.
That game with that offense or lack of offense that the Steelers had, and Aaron Rodgers definitely showing his age, that game shouldn't have even been that close, except for the fact that C.J. Stroud was turning the ball over. So then you fast forward to this game. C.J. Stroud had 4 picks in the first half against New England? You're not winning. You're not winning in that game.
And he lost the fumble too, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he had like 3 fumbles. They were. If I was on that defense, I'd been pissed.
Right.
For them to only allow, what was it, 16 points? I mean,
yeah,
they did their job. They showed up.
Yeah, they did. And that defense is just, that defense is so aggressive. They're so good. That defensive line, the linebackers. I mean, the linebackers and the defensive line make that secondary look probably better than what it really is, because they get so much pressure. And those guys don't even have to really blitz. They're like that type of defensive line that they really don't even have to blitz to get that kind of pressure. So they can send 4 and then you're dropping the other guys back more into coverage. Your linebackers can stay where they are, and it's like lights out. And for you to have that kind of defense, but to turn the ball over so much on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, just absolutely crazy to me. So, and I don't know what they're going to do as far as CJ Stroud. You and I were texting each other back about this. Does CJ Stroud need a new beginning? I don't know. That's something you threw out to me. I don't know. I
mean, Nico Collins being out hurts, but he just and they said something about a hand injury. I think some of that might have been a little bit of it, but he was just seeing ghosts. I think. Yeah. And you got to tip your hat to Vrabel with what that defense is doing.
Sure.
I mean, they spent a lot of money in the offseason, but that team came together very quickly.
Yeah, but you know what they really spent money on too in the offseason? The offensive line, because Vrabel wasn't going to have. Yeah, and they weren't going to have something happen to Drake May, which they knew that was going to be their quarterback. Moving forward after his rookie season.
It was one game for Stroud Myers, but it was also
it was more than one
before. He hasn't really been good all year. I mean, Davis Mills won like 4 or 5 of their games this year.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been. He hasn't been what he was his rookie season. That's just what it is.
So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if something's going on in his head. I don't know if he does need a change of scenery, like you suggested. I don't know. I don't know. I would doubt, because he just got done with his third year. So I don't think that's going to happen with Houston. I mean, Stroud's going to be the starter next year, I'm sure.
Right.
I just don't know what they're going to do. And if Stroud starts off bad next year and he's got to be inside of his own head, is there a possibility that Houston with that defense, let's say they're holding teams, I don't know what their schedule looks like beginning of next year, but let's say Houston's 2-3 to start the gate, and they're already seeing the play from Stroud that we've seen here lately. Is it possible that they sit Stroud down and go with Davis Mills to try to at least get a push to the playoffs again? And then at that point, then you're talking about Stroud's going to be owed his fifth year, after that. So
they're going to have to make the decision on that fifth year this offseason.
Or you could franchise tag him or double franchise tag him, actually. So, I mean, you could essentially have him. But at that time, if you are going to set him down, he's going to be damaged goods by then. And I don't see you doing that. At that point, you're either going to use Davis Mills to carry you through as long as he plays well enough. Keep riding on that defense. And then try to make hay the following draft, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, and they're going to have to make the decision on the fifth year option this offseason.
Yeah. Well, true. I mean, so but essentially, I could see them eventually franchise tagging Stroud just to give them some more time. But I mean, after the third year,
would just do the fifth year option, because you'd have next year and then the year after.
Yeah,
then you could franchise tag them.
If you're still teetering on it, you could see them definitely doing that.
That's not cheap. That's like $60 million probably, or $70 million at that point.
It's not, but it's still better than giving him a long-term contract. But
I think you should have enough information at that point whether you need to tag him or not. If he's playing well, they're not going to tag him. They're just going to extend him. If he's not playing well, they'll probably just let him go.
But then again, look what Miami did with Tua, extended that guy too quick. And remember, people were jumping the gun. Josh Allen got extended, and then Joe Burrow got extended, and then Miami's like, "Hey, we got Tua. Yeah, we think we can extend him too." And that didn't work out. And
you're playing the cap room, because those first 2 or 3 years of those contracts, you can lessen the load. That's why they do that.
Houston's not going to want to play that game. I mean, if they're already seeing it now, they're not going to go ahead and sign Stroud to an extension right now. I don't see it.
I don't see why they would do it this offseason.
Right.
I think you just give him the fifth year option, see how he plays the next year, and then at that point, then you can extend him and cut up that fifth year option.
Right.
They have time, because that's what 2020 here in Cleveland, he played well, so they gave him the fifth year option. Then that next year, he wanted to earn his next contract. He did. So
right. Don't know if you heard about this. Just going back to the Stefanski hire in Atlanta. Along with you said Patron's probably going as well. That's not.
That's the way right? It sounds like.
It sounds like it's going to happen. I guess some beat reporter for the Falcons, one of their main beat reporters, went ahead and put it out on Twitter, something to the effect of Stefanski.
About Baker?
Yeah, and Baker.
And then
I think I
Watson.
sent that to you earlier today, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've seen some stuff on it.
Yeah, so Baker, I guess, couldn't help himself, chimed right back in there. And so it does make you question, was this shot they took with Deshaun, was that all on Jimmy Haslam, or was Stefanski, he wasn't sold on Baker either?
I don't think he was sold on Baker.
Yeah, right.
I think that was pretty clear, and I think Baker wasn't sold on him, even though 2020 pretty much resurrected his career.
Right.
I think that was definitely mutual. And I can't that'll be the first time I actually care to watch a Tampa game to see what happens, because I think that Falcons team's gonna be pretty damn good next year with all the weapons he has.
I think they will be too. I mean, if you're just going to go ahead, because they went ahead and restructured Kirk Cousins, so that's probably going to be a bridge to get them into 2027. And then, but then of course, I think Kirk Cousins with that division the way it is, is there a possibility Carolina's going to be right back up there again? Yeah, there is, but all those three top teams were.
Well, what is up there? 8 and 9.
So. Yeah, exactly. No, but I'm thinking Atlanta, and we say this. I think we say this about Atlanta every year. It's like they should be a much better team than what they are, with the kind of pieces they have there. I just think now that you have Stefanski there, Kirk Cousins is probably going to end up being your starter next year. I think that's the whole reason. It was a couple things they restructured to kind of alleviate some cap space, but also to go ahead and give Cousins another year to go ahead and get.
Yeah, and he's 37 now.
Browns over on YouTube. Browns play the Falcons in 2026. That will be an interesting game. Yes, it is, because we do have.
And they go to Tampa. And they go to Tampa.
Yeah, they go to Tampa. That's correct.
I wonder if both of those games will be a Thursday night or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the Atlanta and Browns game is definitely has to be a primetime game, right?
Or at least 4 o'clock.
Yeah. And then, but I mean, you could definitely see it being a Thursday night or even a Sunday night game, maybe. But also, you're right. I mean, you could see that Tampa and Browns game, depending on where it lines up on the schedule and what the Browns and
do
Tampa
this offseason.
Yeah, and it depends on how far it is down the schedule and what, is there a possible flex situation there? If it's later on in the season and both teams are, in contention still.
I hope we go down there later in the season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
Definitely would not be great going down there in September.
No.
Like 100 fucking degrees.
Right. Yeah, that definitely will be an interesting game, though. But just like we've said on here several times, best of luck to Stefanski. Just bringing the whole crew back. Looks like a reunion down in Georgia. So Brownies suck. No Sunday night game. Okay. All right. Fair enough. That's fine. Tell us something we don't know.
That's why I said Thursday. Yeah. And they can definitely play at 4 o'clock on Sunday. I'm sure.
Right.
They will.
No, 8 o'clock, I assume. Everybody's getting.
Maybe 1. They usually might hand out 1 for a matchup like that. Right. And now with the week 1, hell, it could be Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. They do the whole weekend. Yeah, a lot of interesting matchups. It's almost like the NFL knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that division will be very interesting. It's to be interesting to see how the coaching search ends up in the AFC North. I mean, we're not one of these teams have named a coach. I haven't really seen the list of candidates that Baltimore's been going through. I know you said McCarthy's been in Pittsburgh, but
Dan Patrick's show, I was listening to it last night. Even he's saying on there that Baltimore's going to take their time. I mean, they're going to take their time. They're not going to jump. And the only name, like I said, that I've really heard is Jesse Minter. As a real strong candidate for them, which again would make sense. You put a defensive guy in place, especially with, the kind of talent they have on that side of the ball. So, and my pick still in Pittsburgh is Brian Flores. I think Flores is another name that's getting a second interview possibly in Pittsburgh. So I think
you got an interview there.
Yeah. From what I understood,
I did not know that.
One, or if they did interview him, but I think they went ahead and requested it. So, I mean, that's going to happen. But I could see a definite second interview. He's my choice, unless they even want to go younger than Flores. If they want to go with that 30-something, like, their history has been, it's a possibility. So, but I don't know who that would be.
Has Minner
I
had?
know Fieldhouse has been over there too. He's been on the radar as well. So
yeah, I think he's kind of one of those dudes that might almost be a little bit of a bidding war. And I don't really understand. He's passing game coordinator, but that McVay line seems people really want that, and they've worked out, honestly. So it's not like,
well, they've definitely supplemented. They have to have somebody that's relevant now. So they've kind of like started this, when you hear about the coaching tree, so like the Andy Reid coaching tree or the Bill Belichick.
Mike Holmgren.
Yeah. Well, you need to have like a new generation, and Sean McVay is that guy. So whoever, if you are a friend of a cousin that went to his great wedding, you might get an interview.
Right.
Okay, let's be honest. You're part of that tree. All right. But yeah, who knows? I wish all these coaches well. And especially the ones that have a chance to go ahead and get their first possible job, because
10 openings in one offseason is insane.
There is one I forgot about that I forgot to mention earlier, and that was the New York Jets. So, or no, not the Jets. No, they still got Aaron Glenn. Sorry. For some reason, I was thinking about the Jets and because the draft pick, the drafted 2. Sorry. Aaron Glenn's still there with no picks this year. They had 0 interceptions, new NFL record.
Right.
And he's a defensive guy.
They played corner in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a defensive guy, and you had no interceptions. That guy's done, right?
With some talent on that defense. Yeah, I don't understand why he's still there.
So I wonder what the odds are that dude's getting fired, like
week 4, week 5.
Yeah, something like that.
They're going to have a lot. Well, they traded away a lot of guys. They have a lot of draft capital and cap space to.
They do. No,
to
they
rebuild.
Do.
So
they have that number 2 pick. Of course, we talked about that too. Dante Moore going to go back to Oregon next year, which I think that's a good choice. And then my pick for the guy that's going to shoot up there is going to be Trinidad Chambliss. Is going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be probably the next quarterback's going to take it off the board. Don't talk to me about Carson Beck. Everybody knows Mendoza's going to go 1. And if Chambliss is going to be, is it possible he goes 2? Yeah. It's definitely possible.
There's probably going to be some FCS school that has a quarterback out there that ends up being
no, we haven't even heard about.
Yeah.
Right. Then also Tyler Shuck, going off the board with the Saints, were like, who's this guy? And then we come to find out. Oh, also going back to last year's draft, when Schlesinger went ahead and got drafted, I'm like, who's this?
Who the fuck is that?
And now
just
he
one
is rookie of the year.
Defensive rookie of the year.
Just fantastic. I want to give him a shout out. Anyway, anything else you want to go over tonight?
Nope.
Okay. I know we didn't really touch on almost feels like we're just doing the pod now. I know we didn't talk about the Bears game.
Oh, yeah, we can do the Bears game.
Yeah,
that was probably the best game of the weekend.
Yeah. I think, okay. My opinion here was the play where Caleb Williams is running backwards and then he throws that one.
Heaves it.
He gets caught in the end zone. Was it great? Was it a great play? Yeah, it was a great
his Flutie moment.
But my thing is this. How in the hell is that DB getting burnt? Because it seemed like that ball was in the air forever. I just don't know how that. I don't know how.
The playback, it seemed like they're locked up, and when he chucked it, it probably just misread the angle of the ball. The receiver maybe got a little bit of a push off and got it. I'm not calling a push off there.
Maybe he was coming up off the tight end to go ahead and try to make a pick. Is that what you're thinking?
That or he lost the ball. It was snowing like hell there.
Yeah, true. True.
It was just that was a great play, great throw. I couldn't believe he actually got it that deep,
right.
trailing back and ripped it.
Trailing back, right.
And then, of course, he throws an interception in OT.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't think it was a bad route. I think he just didn't see that safety. It was a hell of a game. It was just like, man, Chicago had it right there. They outplayed the Rams that whole game. There was everything in that was kick the fucking field goal. If you have points on the board and you're playing in a game in the elements like that, take the points.
Right. Sure.
Especially how that defense was playing.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams had that drive early. They looked pretty decent. Right. But then after that, they were pressed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Nakua, Devontae Adams, they were like no-shows. Nakua made a couple of plays, but they were running the ball kind of okay. But they were not putting drives together. Take your points.
Right. Well, and
they left 9 points up on the board, I think.
Right.
Maybe 12.
But I mean, that Bears, the Bears corners and stuff just playing, really well, playing lights out on those guys. So much so, I think, when you're talking about guys like Cody Parkinson, when he's not to say that the tight end isn't important, but when you have weapons like Devontae Adams and Puka Kanua out there, and then you're having to get it out to your tight end because those guys are so stressed in coverage. I mean, that's got to say something for you, as the Bears defense. They have to, in my opinion, they have to be the favorites to win that division going into next year because, the Detroit Lions.
They need some pieces probably up front on defense and rework that defense a little bit, but they played well. They probably played their best football in the playoffs.
Yeah. And also, let's not forget, this is Ben Johnson's first year along with Caleb Williams, his first year with Ben Johnson. They already won a playoff game. And my thing is this, I don't know if the Detroit Lions window is gone. I don't know if it's already closed up.
The Lions will be right back in there, man.
I mean, you think they're going to be right back up in there, or Jared Goff is going to be Jared Goff and do Jared Goff shit, and the Bears are just going to be kick ass next year and blow away that division by a mile, I don't know.
I think that division, even with Green Bay and the Vikings, it's
also Matt LaFleur getting extended. We forgot to talk about that. So they finally keep
LaFleur I mean that division is going to be tight. I don't see the Lions going anywhere. They got a new offensive coordinator, old Browns QB coach, Petsy.
Yeah. Yes.
I think they'll be just fine.
Okay.
I mean, they were 9-8. They had some injury issues in the middle of the year. I think they'll be right back.
Right, but when the year before,
Chicago is the one that's going to have to show that they can do this year over year.
But the year before, weren't they 15-2? They're 15-2, right? So then Ben Johnson left, and now you're 500 team. So
I mean that's not the only thing that happened, but sure.
No, it's not. I mean, what are you saying, Aaron Glenn?
Well, you have a lot better Chicago team in your division.
Yeah.
Green Bay's still there. Minnesota's still 8-9, 9-8.
Yeah. But like I said, I think Flores is going to get a job. So let's see how that defense holds up. And now that you got 9, and he's going to be your guy. I assume he's going to be the guy next year. I don't know. I mean, what's Minnesota? Maybe Minnesota's going to try to draft a quarterback. I don't know. Is Minnesota going to try to possibly move up in the draft? And they're like, this guy's it.
They could try. I don't know what all they have to move up with, but
I don't either.
And they're probably picking at 16 or 17 or whatever it is.
I don't know what their draft capital looks like or what position they're in. So, okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. We're going to try to do this. Ryan was really great. It took us a little bit tonight, but Ryan was awesome as usual, getting things set up for anything that's remote. Feel free to go ahead and drop us a line. Something else I think we wanted to do too. We've done this in the past. If we've done a Super Bowl Square game, I think we should go ahead. I'm going to get that up and ready, and we're going to go ahead and do Super Bowl Squares again this year. We did Venmo last year or whatever. Did we do Zelle too? Was it Zelle and Venmo or just Venmo?
I have Zelle or Venmo or PayPal. It doesn't really matter.
They were just paying us in person. But if you guys want to get on the Super Bowl Square, we're going to do the same as $5 a square. We're going to pay out $100 a quarter. So we'll go ahead and get that board up. We'll get a shot of it. If you're interested in there, go ahead and drop us a DM, whatever you want, and say, yeah, put me down for 5, and we'll just start marking you down. You could tell us if you want us to pick your squares for you, can do that. Or, if you want to pick the squares, that's fine too.
Right.
But yeah, definitely want to go ahead and get that rolling, and then
get a post up on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
and we'll get that shared around.
Of the actual,
maybe create an event so everybody can see that. But
sure,
whenever that comes up and you guys see it pop up on Facebook, please share it around, and we'll try to get that going. If it fills up quick, maybe we'll do a second one. We'll see how that goes.
Right. We also really appreciate everybody. We had one of the best last Friday night for our main pod. We had one of the best comment sections tonight, really. Thank you for all you guys. Peter Myers, thank you for getting in. ZJW, don't know who you were over on YouTube. Appreciate it. If you like our content, please subscribe, like, and share this.
Share it with your friends.
Share this with people. Send it to them on Messenger if you have to. Get over on our Facebook page or YouTube platform, whatever, and go ahead and share it. And we appreciate that. With that being said, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for all the comments. And